Welcome to the Lake Forest Podcast, a podcast with the lovely city of Lake Forest, featuring topics like local news, sports, music, people, food, and no more lawn signs. My name is Pete, and I'm joined with the voice of the Lake Forest High School basketball, football, lacrosse, chess team, Skoo. The Lake Forest Podcast is supported by viewers, listeners, and businesses just like you. Looking for the best pool supplies? Look no further than Dohany's Pool Supplies. With a history dating back to 1967, this family-owned business offers everything families need to keep their pools clean and sparkling, from chemicals to equipment. Plus, customers enjoy free shipping on all orders. Visit Dohany's Pool Supplies today at dohany.com, doheny.com, to learn more. Forest Bluff Real Estate Team serves Illinois, Wisconsin, Lake Forest, and Lake Bluff. John Josephitis, Laura Lee Van Fleet, and of course, Michelle Parnell. Get a free market analysis now at forestbluffrealestate.com. For the best cannabis in the world, look no further than Iliad Epic Grow. Owned by Lake Bluff's own Rich Ruzich, they are a cannabis cultivation center focusing on hard-to-find small batch products that will delight both the occasional user and ganjier. When visiting Michigan, ask for it by name. Epic Products, exceptional process. For more information, email info@iliadgrow.com. Havey Communications has been helping first responders arrive safely since 1983. It's owned by Lake Forest's own Mike Havey. Check them out at haveycommunications.com. We'd also like to say we're thankful for our Patreon supporters: Matt A., Elizabeth C., Costa, Lance, Otto, RDM, John C., and Mike Adelman. Shout out to the Lake Forest Breakfast Group, Broad Stop and Captain Mike's in Kenosha, the Greentown Tavern, and the Frolic Lounge in Waukegan. Walker, how you doing, Skoo?
Doing good, Pete. Good morning. Happy Masters weekend, Easter weekend. It's nice out finally. Look chilly.
Oh, man.
But
I still haven't recovered, man. I can't go out on a Tuesday night.
And people texting me to come, like, yeah, man, I'm horizontal. Not gonna happen.
Well, it's
Then I saw your mug all over these pictures. I'm like, oh God.
Oh yeah, I had my cowboy lid on. You know, I want to make sure people can see me when I'm walking through a crowd.
Duffer Central, it looked like.
No, it really is a great thing when people come together, people that you don't see eye to eye, literally, on things. And come together on a common goal and, you know, do what's best for the city. That was good. Refreshing. Yeah. And
glad
I equate it to, it's almost like when I was playing ball, man. You had a big win. It's like you're drained, you're tired. You have a couple beers and you're wiped, and it takes a couple days to decompress. It's hard to decompress when you do a podcast the very next morning, but you know.
And you wanted to do that at night.
Well, whatever. We did. We did.
Should have done a live remote. Stick that phone up and start talking.
No, not at all. I don't think I was putting my words together too well that night, Skoo. But no. So now, you know, we had a lot of props out to Anthony Vega, clerk of Lake County, coming on. I thought that was
tremendous.
So we cleared
Hopefully
that thing
it paves
up.
the way for everyone. You don't have to be afraid to come on.
Yeah, even if you're a Democrat, he's one of my favorite Democrats. Well, there's Ara, but you know, look, man, politics isn't an identity. Take the outliers out of it, and what's in between, we can figure this thing out. So I think what happened there with that Christchurch thing is just, you got a new guy coming in and you have a handoff, and people are pissed that they lost. They want to help the new people coming in. I think that's what happened, Skoo. And then Biddy, Anthony was being very political. He's in the right spot, but do you think Biddy could have played a bigger role on this? Or we should just ask her herself when she comes on? No comment.
No comment. I don't think that's I don't think it was at the city level.
Okay. All right. We'll leave. I don't know. You know what? We'll ask. All we can do is ask, and props to again Vega for coming on. So then, how do we? Is it all hunky dory now? I heard the next day Prue's at O'Hare and on a plane out of here. What do we do now?
I didn't. Better be careful.
What are you talking about? It's no stalker. It's just you're a public figure, and you're like, hey, wait a minute, didn't you?
Were you running down the highway chasing her, going, hey, wait a minute, come here?
Hey, people tell me things. Look, everything I say going forward is allegedly.
Well, allegedly.
But you got these people in the that are public figures. You got, the Bushmans, the Novitts, the Rummels that, went on a limb against the process that put them in place. Do they recover from that? Like, do you vote them back in?
Well, I mean, two of them are going off anyways. They're done.
Yeah. But I mean, for
moving down the line, I mean, there's, I said it earlier, there's, does stuff continue? No, there's a lot of work that has to be done within the caucus. I mean, it's by no stretch of the imagination, just because they survived the contested election. There's a lot of work to be done because there's a lot of work that was undone by previous people within the caucus. And I've always said,
talking about like Sheila Henretta, whatever.
I'm just going to continue to say it. It's a process that is a successful process, but sometimes those processes are broken by the people. And, with the new group of people coming in, people that are raising their hands have to understand what they're doing and what it's great they're raising their hands, but there's work to be done. As you know, Pete, as I know, when you're on the caucus, it's just not a resume filler. And there's work you have to do. And sometimes it's work that people get on the caucus and they don't like it, so they don't participate. And that's been the problem in the last several years, not only on the caucus, but on these boards and commissions, that people get on them to pad their resumes, or their bosses tell them, hey, you got to, volunteer or something to make you look good. But then they get on these boards, then they get on these boards and commissions and they don't do the work. And, it's just a cavalcade effect. If you're not, everyone says team, but if you're on a board or commission, you're on a team, you got to do the work. You got to ask the questions the right way. And if you don't, it leads up to what we unfortunately faced. And so the people coming on, the new caucus that's spinning over, really got to it's great they're volunteering, but you got to do the work. And you got to do the work objectively and talk to people. And I'm going to keep saying it, that, there's a lot of people, there's a database. There's a reason why the caucus creates this database of profiles of people that have come through and interviewed and all that. It is, there are tons of people that have volunteered in the past on boards or commissions that, if you go back in to that database like they should be doing, and pulling out people when there's open positions and interviewing those people, as opposed to interviewing, hey, Johnny just moved in town, he wants to get involved, let's interview him. You need to have a history. If you're going to raise your hand and volunteer in this community, and this is my opinion only, you can't say the old, no, I don't want to know about the old. You have to know about the old, because the old gets you to the new and gets you to the future. And if you're going to sit there and shrug your shoulders and say, oh, I'm not going to listen to that because that guy's, an old timer and he doesn't know what's going on now, that's where it's broken. And that's where the caucus has to start pulling older people, not old age-wise, people that have participated in the past. Those are your best people to fill boards and commissions, is people who volunteered in the past. And that's just not happening right now. That's my opinion. And I say it's just not happening because I see these people on these boards and commissions not doing their job the way they should be. And as a result, we get into a lot of crap like contested elections, lawsuits, and all that.
Yeah.
So more power to all the people that raise their hands, but you know what? You got to do the work. And Pete, you're one person that, you know, when you're on the caucus, you ask questions. You're not on the caucus to sit there and just nod your head with the quote unquote exec council. They are not the expert by any stretch of the imagination in Lake Forest and how boards and commissions work. Guarantee you that they're not experts on it. So when people on the caucus raise their hand and ask questions in meetings like you did, you can't be chastised about that, and you have to answer the questions. It's only a productive way to make our government in this town work the right way. And you can't be admonished because you ask questions. And you know, that just
well, you can admonish somebody, but what are you going to admonish them for? Like, I'm trying not to rehash this stuff in the past, but
the
unless
past
they're
got us here, and that's the thing.
Well, I guess what I'm saying is, if these people that are bad actors don't have consequences, they're gonna do it again. Okay, you have somebody in the executive board, I don't want to say traitor, whatever it is, not supporting the candidate and splitting. They should be banned from any future board or committee.
Pete, I totally agree. And here's my thing is, you know, some people scream about it, going, "Oh no, you can't." Yeah, you can. If you raise your hand to be on the caucus committee, and that position, your role is to interview people to fill boards and commissions, you need to support that process. You don't just get to say, "Hey, I'm either or." You're supporting the process you're volunteering on. I mean, that's just how it is. You can, if you're not on it, you can vote however you want. But when people like that say, you know what, are hiding behind the scenes and, you know, agreeing to put certain people forward, and then it doesn't go a certain way.
Yeah.
And then you start going, well, you know what, I'm out. It's just like the alderman that, you know, said, I'm going to sit out, or I'm going to not participate in this election.
Yeah, Nancy Novitt. Yeah.
You have to. You're obligated to. You are part of the caucus that got you where it is, and you can't sit there and say, I don't support it anymore. Oh, you only supported it to get you where you want. That's called an agenda, where you shouldn't even have been there then.
Yeah.
But no, it's sad that how it all came out. And I think, you know, moving forward, it's, you know, the caucus selected the right person to go forward, and the people voted on it. Now it's just a matter of, you know, and this is the thing. This is the beauty of the caucus. It recycles people all the time, right? So these new people coming on, you know, you learn from the people on there, and then, you know, moving forward. But the other thing is, you know, we got to stop taking aldermen that spin off and then putting them back in the caucus system or the boards and commissions, because that doesn't serve the purpose either. I mean, it's great these people have served, and, you know, kind of ultimately the service thing is getting to an alderman. I mean, that's the highest ring besides the mayor. But once you do that, that's, you know, why are people wanting to go back on the caucus committee or on a board or commission? To me, that's agenda driven. That should be.
I mean, like Novitt's husband?
Novitt's husband. I think John Luby's on one of the boards or commissions that he was an alderman. Yeah. So it doesn't make sense to me that you're retreading people when there's tons of people in this community that have volunteered in the past and that are qualified to fill these spots.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not a thing where the caucus, because I'm on the caucus committee, that automatically jumps me into a running for a board or commission. It doesn't, because you don't have the experience. You need to be on boards and commissions first, and there's a lot of people that need to be relooked at that have served. And that's
well, there's two nasty things that I want to bring up and deal with it and move on. First nasty thing is Jamie Moorhead questioning the integrity of Randy Tack. That shit, Bush League, and forever I hope he's banned from joining anything to do with the city. Number two, Mary Greub, shout out to her, man. She hung tough through all this. all the crap texts she got, the emails, the threats, and she stood right by Randy's side and baked the voting cookies wherever you voted for, which are very tasty, that I'm putting right here. No, and the other small business owners, the Oakwood cleaners, and no
Lily
business.
Alexander,
Who?
Lily Alexander, I guess.
Lily Alexander. No business should be threatened for standing by, their beliefs. If you're going to threaten a business, it's because they have a crappy product and you vote with your feet and you don't shop there anymore, not because of political stuff. You don't grow a town by treating small businesses that way.
I want to add on the Jamie Moorhead piece. I mean, again, back to our previous conversation, I believe he's on zoning board and also on plan commission. And
liaison.
For a guy that he also ran for first ward alderman and lost out to Novitt. So here's a guy that's going to, speaking his mind against the caucus and trash talking, whatever. I mean, dude, you got on your boards because of the caucus. Now all of a sudden you're bitter now at the caucus because you weren't selected as an alderman. I mean, I don't know.
Respect.
I just think these people don't get it, that they're volunteers, fantastic for volunteering, but the only reason you're volunteering or on a board or commission is because of the process that got you there, and I don't understand. That's called, to me, that's an agenda. He's riding on an agenda. He wants to do something his own way, and you know what? But I agree, Pete. I mean, I'm not going to say people shouldn't be considered again anymore, but you know what? You shouldn't be considered if you've already got to the ultimate volunteer spot, which is an alderman, in my opinion. But also, if you got to trash talk the process and trash talk the city, there's people on boards and commissions that trash talk the city workers. I mean, it's
why the hell would you do that?
What's the purpose of that? Or you're not on there, these boards and commissions. You're to fight the city. You're there to work with the city. I don't understand that, and it's continuing on. That's the one thing, the big thing I think the caucus needs to kind of look in the mirror. Again, I said from day one, whoever wins, the caucus isn't going away. It's our process, but it's the people, and we've really got to look at, who the people are and what they're trying to do. They need to get educated. They need to, I know this was talked about even when I was on the caucus. It's about, educating these caucus committee members on boards and commissions, going to a kind of quote unquote school to learn about the boards and commissions, because that's what they're filling. And I can guarantee you 80% of the people on there don't even take the time to learn about, library board or cemetery commission. Or, I got to fill those, but I don't know anything about it. So I think there's a lot of work to be done. We can make it work functionally again. I think it still does, but it just, people got to understand what their roles are when they're going on there. And that's my big issue.
This costs a lot of money.
Lawsuits cost a lot of money. For people that don't get their way, that, in my opinion, fall in the outliers of the political scheme of things, that got nothing better to do to cause trouble. So, or it's like you get turned away by the city or something, and it's just like, I'm pissed off, and I'm gonna create a group and just kind of, be angry about it. And it's like, let's not do that. Let's work together. That's what the caucus is. It's, that's why we have the caucus, because it is our community working together. But it just seems lately that, there's too many people running their own personal agendas, and, they're uncovered late in certain processes, which is too bad. And, but, maybe Randy can bring that civility back, and working with the council and the city, kind of figure and the caucus work on figuring stuff out.
And then Randy, man, all the crap he took. Jesus, I can tell you this.
I just laugh. Randy, congratulations. I still to this day, we look at it and we're kind of like, you read all this noise out there, and it's like, where in God's name was Randy negative? It's just like everyone's like, oh yeah, he's just this and that. It's like, well, when? What? But it's people not taking the time to understand stuff, right?
He and his wife.
Just like, oh no, he's this way. Certain people say, oh no, he's this, and I've experienced. So they pile on, and it's just.
Well, if that's what they did to Randy, or even Prue brought it on herself, or I'm sorry, Susan Garrett did.
Again, I'm going to say Prue. She's a lovely lady. I just think she kind of got in bed with the wrong people, and I just don't believe she's that type of person. But you never know. I don't know. I mean,
well, she's out in California somewhere right now.
So,
but with all this crap that goes on, why would somebody want to volunteer for it?
That's my whole point. I mean, there's so many good people in this community that volunteer, but you know what? They're like, wow. I mean, if I'm going to volunteer and, face potential lawsuit every time I make a decision, it's just, why do it? Or why, get to, and the sad thing is those good people don't decide not to do it. And then we get stuck with people that do have agendas and like, hey, great, I'm in, I don't have time, but I'm on the board or commission or I don't have time to work on it, but I'm there.
Well, anybody does want to talk about it, an issue objectively. And I'm just going to point to Lake County Clerk Anthony Vega. We talked smack. He came on, cleared the air. We haven't gotten to the solution yet, but at least he came on. I respect that. I got nothing to say.
Right.
So
okay. I mean,
the people
what a great guy to come on, and and he didn't have to.
Well, I think he does have to. He works for the people, both sides.
Right. But he doesn't have to. I mean,
yeah.
You don't have to come on our little piddly podcast. I mean, but he did. And that's the thing that's unique. I mean,
well, you get this wasted energy on the conspiracies and all this stuff. And you got to look, we need energy to work on positive things. You know what I mean? So, all right, we knocked that one out of
the newspaper.
Well, speaking of which, we are looking for somebody from Lake Forest to be an editor/publisher of a newspaper for Lake Forest. The
Did
job
you
is
ever go
on
to the library and pull out an old Lake Forester.
No, not at all.
God, come on!
I couldn't get past the dome work.
Thank God that's getting done.
So they're doing the whole thing, right? The whole shebang. Okay. Hey, library peeps, if you want to come on and clue us in what's going on with that saran wrap up there, does that mean it's going to go away, that big white tarp? Or okay.
Yep, it's going to be the dome again. Were you even living in town when the dome was actually the dome, or did you move in when it was already?
I came in right when it was leaking, and I got my library card, and it smelled like really damp basement in there,
like a 1910 building.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, come down to my office if you want to smell a damp basement.
So yesterday, I guess it was the shovel ceremony for the turf at Deer Park.
Yep, they are moving fast and furiously. There's some changes too at the rec center. Apparently, the Parks Department has now been shifted back over under Streets and Sanitation, I believe. So now they all have their own parks
line item
again. Yeah.
Okay. So budget. That's smart.
The rec now and the field moves over. At least the maintenance of all the parks goes over there, and the rec still has the programming on the fields, but that's kind of a big move.
And congratulations again to William Griffin for getting on Lake College of Lake County trustee. And then, Ara, way to win, Ara.
Ooh, he
was a squeaker.
I mean,
and then
I think he was the top vote getter in the
Yeah, he
last
was.
couple. He's now like the man.
He is the man. I wonder if you get a special prize for that.
Make sure you go to get your kids braces. Go see Dr. Ara.
Dr. Ara. And then
Dr. Ara.
Congratulations, John Powers.
Yeah. JP's
I'm sorry, Alderman Powers. We're going to have him and Rick Amos and the boys on for a show, talk about the critique of the new bands coming into play at the festivals.
I want to know when what the 4th of July is, since it's coming rapidly on us.
Yeah, we're going to get them on.
Just turned the new year. Now all of a sudden we're closer to the 4th of July than and there's no venue or anything. So I know there's people out there that are dying to know, and we could be the
well, they wanted to come on, and I said, hey guys, we got this election thing and I want to make sure everybody's focused. Plus I've been in low gear this whole week. I don't know what happened. And then
I think they should just do just the 4th of July and take all these concerts, all that money to the concert, throw it over to the fields.
And the Lake Forest podcast.
Or to the library. But now you got to throw that money to the fields, because that's, I think, the smart thing to do right now.
Congratulations to Dr. Montgomery. Got the 105 mil. Now he's going to be wearing a hard hat for the rest of his term.
That's a big undertaking, man. I mean, I can't wait to see how that's going to go. Man, there's going to be a lot of trucks in town here for the next.
Hey, man, you say your vote doesn't matter. A difference of 100 votes, whatever it was,
yep,
that's a difference of $1,000, right?
Right.
So
now it's a good thing. I mean, again, our citizens stepped up and we did the right thing. I mean, that's what you got to love about the community.
And then speaking of Lake Forest High School, I guess they had a little walkout yesterday or day before yesterday, something to do with guns or whatever. They had
I did hear that. Yeah. I don't know what happened.
Well, they marked them for unexcused absence. So, hey, students, we do have a contingency that are under 21 years of age that watch this podcast.
Really?
If you're going to walk,
because we had those guys on a couple of years ago. Remember we had that?
Oh yeah,
high school when they were going around town with those Nerf guns and all that.
Yeah. Yeah, no more shooting.
That was called.
God, you don't want to get in that shooting stuff now. But all the people that are getting in a bunch, these outliers that are, want to keep guns, get rid of guns. Why don't you guys pressure the insurance companies for parity of pay that will pay the same for mental health as they do for physical health? If you want to, but no, it's not sexy. They haven't figured it out. Off my soapbox because I just crushed it.
The big soapbox.
Oh,
sturdy soapbox.
Very sturdy. Very sturdy.
Who's your pick for the Masters? You probably got it on right now, don't you?
Me? Golf is the last thing. It's an appropriately scored sport because the better that you do is the less that you play of it. Picks. Of course, this will be edited out. Rory McIlroy. You like that?
Yeah, I'm going to go sleeper. I like Gary Woodland.
He is ranked. Wow. That is a sleeper because I can't even get him in the first 30. 40. I don't even know where he is. Well, whoever that is, I'm sure he'll do great.
It's a big ball.
Skoo, you got Netflix over at your domicile?
I do.
Do you watch that golf show?
I started watching it, but kind of.
Unless it's like Captain America, you don't stay awake.
Oh, love the.
You're a Marvel guy.
Pam drives Pam nuts. It's like, oh, it's on. You've seen this. Just kind of like Modern Family. I'm just like Modern Family all time, all day. If that's on, I'm watching it.
So you're also like
recite everything too.
I'm sure you're also like a Meryl Streep movie kind of person.
Oh God, Meryl Streep, love her. Love her. Barbara Streisand. I am. Yeah.
How many times can you see A Star Is Born?
Carpenters. Love the Carpenters. Yeah.
And then shout out again to the City Workers. Hey, whoever wants to come on, Joshua Hucker, man, thanks for getting my mind right on who actually took the signs down. I appreciate all the boys out there, all the sanitation guys that take my stuff in the garbage cans when I don't put the right stuff in the right can. I appreciate that. And then we have a shout out from a watcher listener here, Skoo. I won't give the name, but just say Helen. Can't even begin to express my gratitude to this podcast and your entire crew, guests, for giving us this invaluable information. You helped us 2 years, hopefully 4 years, of a little bit of a sanity in our tiny community. Our entire state, country, world is crumbling, and all I care about is that our few miles around us are together and united. Thank you again. Lake Forest is a very special place, but this election shows me it'll be a battle. Keep it that way. Your bravery kept me going. You could have taken the safe route, and you didn't. High five and carry on. Looking forward to each podcast. Here's to you, Helen. Our pleasure.
Helen Wheels.
Oh, Skoo's singing to you, Helen.
Is that a Beatles tune? Or Ringo tune?
I don't think so.
Come on.
Skoo, we worked overtime this week. Everybody did. Randy, decompress. Prue, I'm sure you're in California somewhere. When you come back, the offer still stands. You want to come on the show?
Go White Sox.
Go. Yeah.
Get out to West Campus, see the boys lacrosse, girls lacrosse, soccer, tennis, everything. Get on out there.
Number 15. Give us a quick call to. How do you call lacrosse? Give us a quick call in lacrosse, and we'll cut the show.
Goal by number 99, Pete Jansons.
No helmet. Doesn't fit. Later, Skoo. The Lake Forest Podcast is supported by viewers, listeners, and businesses just like you. Looking for the best pool supplies? Look no further than Dohany's Pool Supplies. With a history dating back to 1967, this family-owned business offers everything families need to keep their pools clean and sparkling, from chemicals to equipment. Plus, customers enjoy free shipping on all orders. Visit Dohany's Pool Supplies today at doheny.com, DOHENY.com, to learn more. Forest Bluff Real Estate Team serves Illinois, Wisconsin, Lake Forest, and Lake Bluff. John Josephitis, Laura Lee Van Fleet, and of course, Michelle Parnell. Get a free market analysis now at forestbluffrealestate.com. For the best cannabis in the world, look no further than Iliad Epic Grow. Owned by Lake Bluff's own Rich Ruzich, they are a cannabis cultivation center focusing on hard-to-find small batch products that will delight both the occasional user and ganjier. When visiting Michigan, ask for it by name. Epic Products, exceptional process. For more information, email info@iliadgrow.com. Havey Communications has been helping first responders arrive safely since 1983. It's owned by Lake Forest's own Mike Havey. Check them out at haveycommunications.com. We'd also like to say we're thankful for our Patreon supporters: Matt A., Elizabeth C., Costa, Lance, Otto, RDM, John C., and Mike Adelman. Shout out to the Lake Forest Breakfast Group, Broad Stop and Captain Mike's in Kenosha, the Greentown Tavern, and the Frolic Lounge in Waukegan.